All right, so here we go again. I got triggered. This time, Chris Robinson was on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he was talking about one of the times the Black Crowes performed on Saturday Night Live. But let me preface this first by saying I've always been a huge Black Crowes fan. I remember when that second album came out, I was in high school, and I walked home from school that day. The day that second album came out, instead of taking the bus home, I decided to walk home because I wanted to stop at the record store. I had saved my allowance or whatever money I had, mowing lawns or whatever I did back then for money. I stopped at the record shop. I had loved that first Black Crowes album, so the day that second album came out, I stopped at the record shop, bought the first two Black Crowes records on cassette on the same day the second album came out. So I've been a fan from the early days, and but I got triggered when I saw Chris Robinson on the Joe Rogan Experience talking about that Saturday Night Live appearance. He's really playing up how rebellious and how much artistic integrity the band had back in the day, and still to this day, they're nothing but integrity, all about the art. But you know, the story he's recounting is the second time they appeared on Saturday Night Live after their second album came out, Southern Harmony and Musical Companion. He clashed with the music director or whoever was working for Saturday Night Live about the songs they were supposed to play. The band were scheduled to play a song called Sometime Salvation, which was their latest single, along with the smash hit song Remedy, both off that Southern Harmony album. And Chris Robinson decided he had just written a song called Nonfiction, which would end up on the Amorica album, the follow-up album. It was a brand new unrecorded song. They made the artistic decision that they were going to play this unrecorded song on national television, even though, they're signed to a major record deal who's paying them a lot of money to promote this big, huge album. They're making a lot of money. They've got a lot of people who are working for the band so they can make money, so these people can have a livelihood. But suddenly it becomes about artistic integrity. Well, Chris, once you sign to a major record label, you start walking a line between art and commerce. You got to remember, this is a job. You're being paid for. There are people paying you a lot of money to promote this album so they can make money, so you can make money. People under you, people on your crew are dependent on you for their livelihood. And the fact that suddenly you're this rebel after you've made a lot of money on the heels of your smash hit first album and your even bigger second album, for you to laud yourself as this integrity, at some point it does become a job, Chris. Once you step out of the coffee shop and into the arena, and it's about a lot of money, you do have a responsibility to the people who are paying you, and not just your muse, your artistic muse inside. At some point, the job's got to come first, Chris, unless you want to give it all up and go back to the coffee house serenading baristas with your artistic integrity. I mean, these are the same guys. Chris Robinson and Rich Robinson hated each other for years, said they never get back together. It took a 30th anniversary tour of their first album, Shake Your Moneymaker. I'm sure they made a lot of money. I'm sure they got a big offer to play this tour, to play this first album in their entirety. They took the money. A book that I highly recommend is Steve Gorman's memoir, Hard to Handle. He really exposes the Robinsons brothers for who they really are, and he mentioned as much about the 30th anniversary tour, that they basically reunited for a paycheck. They threw all their so-called artistic integrity out the window to perform the first album in its entirety, the first big hit album, which is almost a great, it had so many hits on it. Twice as Hard, Hard to Handle, Jealous Again. It was almost like a greatest hits record in and of itself. That's how many hits it had on it. It was kind of almost like Hysteria by Def Leppard. It had so many hits on it, AOR staples, that they got paid a lot of money to play this record because it was what the fans wanted to hear. They didn't want to hear Chris Robinson's latest, acoustic dobro song that he wrote. His hurdy-gurdy solo. They wanted to hear the hits, and they took the money. So Chris, come on, man. Who you trying to kid? You're a rebel. Yeah, right. Okay, they had a tour in 2000 called Sold Out. SOULED. I guess it was kind of poking a fun at selling out. I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you think? Is this guy a legit rebel? Is this guy, and I love you, Chris, man. I love your music, dude. And I was a big defender of you. All the stuff you did in the early days, being a prick, spitting on people, saying stupid shit. But this is one, I just had to touch on this. What do you guys think? Is Chris Robinson a true rebel? Or is he just your other phony baloney rock star who it's easy to be rebellious, after you've made your millions, right? Where's the rebellion? Once you take that major record label deal, sorry, dude. A lot of that rebellion goes out the window. You become an employee, you become somebody with a responsibility to your employer who's paying you a lot of money to do what you do, brother. So I just wanted to touch on this. What do you guys think? Maybe I'm off base. Maybe this guy is a paragon of integrity, as Lloyd Carr used to say, the old Michigan football coach. But I just wanted to touch on this. And that's about it. So we'll see you next time. Who's here?